going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a hell of a long time since we've worked on the MX-5 and show season is pretty much upon us already. So I really need to pull my finger out my arse and actually start cracking on with this and getting it all finished. In terms of a little update of where we're at, so the bay is getting there smoothing wise. Like this side is a lot better than that side, but at the end of the day I did lose a bit of motivation sanding. So I've had a nice break. We'll crack on with that in another video. Just a quick one, we're not going to be doing any more sanding videos on that. So the next video you do see on the engine bay is going to be us painting it. So I just don't want to do 101 sanding videos, so yeah, that's what we're doing. In today's video, it's a very special day, so the block has actually been booked in as of now to the machine shop. So what that means is we need to strip this down to the block to get ready for machining. So what we're going to do, without no further ado, is we're going to crack on, strip down this engine to the block, and then we'll be ready to go get it machined, ported, polished, the whole shebang really. And then yeah, we're going to start putting it back together with all the forged pieces. Right, so as you can see, obviously we're going to take off all of the bits on the outside. So manifold, or exhaust manifold, turbo, all of these lines, everything which we can take off with, without actually opening up the engine. See, we've basically taken off the exhaust manifold, the turbo, the intake manifold. I'm just looking on the floor to see what we've taken off. A couple of the, one of the engine mounts, a couple of little bits of bobs, fuel rail, injectors. So quite a lot's coming off. We're just going to completely basically strip this side now. So I'm going to turn the engine over onto its side, and then what we've got is we've got to take all of these bits. So this is actually goes to our oil cooler and our oil filter, and we just take these tubes off, which are leaking. So that will come off. We're going to have to take the alternator off, but yeah, we'll probably wait until we take off like the whole front section, because we've got to take off the belts to get the alternator off. Stutter motor is more like what I am. Starter motor can come off as well. Then the other exhaust mount on this side. Then both sides will be stripped. Then we'll most likely work our way around to the front and the back and just take off all the bits and bobs like that. And yeah, we'll hopefully be at a stage very soon where we can actually start taking apart the internals of the engine, which is the more exciting bit. But yeah, what we'll do, I'm going to quickly go get a bite to eat, move all this stuff inside because we're going to be building the engine inside, and then yeah, we'll crack on. Only reason being, looks like it's going to rain, I'm starving, so we'll catch up in a bit. Boom, we are back again. It's actually 2 days later and we're back to working on this beauty. As you saw in the beginning half of the video, we've pretty much done all of the bits on the outside. So now we can start diving into this engine and actually taking it apart. Now, I'm going to be working on it this evening. It's about to get dark soon. Don't really look it from here, but you'll find out very shortly in the video that it's going to be dark. So, yeah, we'll do as much as we can as long as the filming quality looks good. But yeah, we've got, oh yeah, I forgot the fucking garage light don't work. We'll have to sort that out before we crack on. But anyway, what we'll do is we're going to start actually taking apart the internals. There are some bits on the external of the engine. There are some external bits on the engine which we're going to have to take off as and when we're doing it. But yeah, we'll hit them up as we go. So what we'll do, I'm going to go sort out the light now, set the camera on a time lapse, and we're going to continue stripping apart this engine. We're going to start by doing the top half. So we're going to take off all of the ignition leads, spark plugs out, the actual cam cover out. Then we'll start doing all the little bits around the head on the front of the engine, because then we can lift the head off the engine, and then we're pretty much getting there. It's going to be messy. I'm going to wear gloves today, he says, but I might get bored of them and my hands might look like I've just dipped them in a puddle of oil, like usually goes down. But anyway, what I'll do, stop rambling, whack this phone onto the tripod, and then we're going to crack on stripping apart the engine. Right, so I've been smashing this out for literally 5 minutes and we've got our first problem bolt. This one here, right there, all it is holding on the plastic cover, but we do need to get it out because obviously otherwise, well, first of all, we've got this on this piece. We need that plastic cover there. One, it protects the belts, and also we need it to measure timing, so to adjust the timing when it's being tuned. So we've got a problem there. Now, I've got a couple of options. That bolt is completely rounded, so it's not going back in anyway. I'm probably going to try use a bolt extractor. So basically what that is going to entail is drilling a little hole into it. Then yeah, using a bolt extractor to pull it out. I'll blast it with heat beforehand as well, so hopefully it doesn't slip and it will come out. But we're going to have to wait and find out. I thought I'd explain that because it's getting dark. But yeah, we ain't done too much. What we've really done is taken off most of those bits on the front, taken off the cam cover, we've taken off the old coil packs, and because we've got our first problem bolt, we've also got a Stella, which I am going to crack open right now for the boys, because that's what's, oh fuck you know, bit of leakage there. Yeah, so I'm going to have a beer and then we're going to crack on with working out how we're going to do this. Right, so as you saw in that last clip, I've just been at that bolt which basically holds the balancer onto the, what's it called, crankshaft, and nothing's happening at all. Then I've gone at it with the heat gun for literally that clip I've just filmed, which is obviously going to be cut down to a hell of a lot shorter. It was 7 minutes of me just blasting it with the not a heat gun, it's the butane torch, that's the one. So yeah, I've been blasting it with that for fucking ages. Nothing's happening. I'm gonna have to, I mean, it will come out. I remember it being an absolute bastard on the last engine I did. So yeah, it's just gonna take a bit of work. Alternatively, the only problem is basically I can't use a breaker bar, because obviously when you use a breaker bar, it turns the whole assembly. So unless there's a way which I can find to like wedge the assembly in place. The only issue with that is, if what I wedge in place is not as strong as that bolt, which is pretty fucking strong, then it's going to break it, and I don't want to be breaking parts. So I'm going to have a little rethink with that. I think just a lot more heat, a lot more penetrating fluid, and hopefully we will be good to go. Plus, my rattle guns ran out, so yeah, fucking fabulous. I'm going to whack that on charge now. What we're going to do, I am going to catch up with you guys again in the morning, just for the main reason that I'm a bit knackered, and to be quite honest, we've got a rounded bolt. We've got that to do, so I've got to put the rattle gun back on to sort that out, and we've got to take off all of that and take off the actual timing belt before we can go ahead and lift the head. So that's pretty much all for the time being. Everything, in terms of an update, everything on the back of the engine is all good, and then on the front, all we've got to do is take off this timing belt, and then yeah, the head will be able to be lifted off with all these bits attached to it, which I can take off once the head's actually off the block. And then we can go ahead, flip the whole thing over, take off the oil pan, and we'll take off the crankshaft, all the rods, pistons, and then we'll pretty much be down to the bare block. Now, I'm quite intrigued to see what this is like, and this is going to be a top tip for any of you guys if you've been basically doing anything to your engine. At one point I just used water, and the reason being is I thought, oh, that's not going to be an issue, just because it was summer and I was a bit lazy, because I had a problem basically where I kept blowing one of the coolant hoses because it was overheating, and it took me a while to get to the bottom of what the issue was. And I just spent like, what, 40 odd quid on coolant 3 times in a week, and I was like, well, this is fucking shit. So I used water for a while, probably about a month, just to basically, until I got to the bottom of the problem, so I didn't keep wasting 40 odd quid every time I went for a drive on coolant. Now, the problem I'm having, because it wasn't de-ionised, what happens with iron rust, it was tap water. So on loads of little bits, you can see that there's a slight thin layer. It's not necessarily rust, it's just a build-up. It's not the actual metal which is rusting, it's just like a build-up of where the water was. So I've gone at that with like a little, just wiped it down, and it seems to be okay. But this is going to be a massive caution when I do open up the engine further. We're going to find out if that was a really bad idea, and I'm telling you, I reckon it was. So it's not an issue, the whole engine's going to get redone anyway, but yeah, we're going to see what damages that could do, and this will be a massive pointer for anyone who does put water in their engine which isn't deionised, or anyone at all that does it. Right then lads, actually I've just had a quick thought. I'm going to leave this video here. The only reason being is because I haven't uploaded in a while.
couple of things been happening in personal life, so that's the reason for not having uploads as much recently. I've also started a new job, if you didn't know. Got a couple of business ventures going on, so that's the reason why I ain't been uploading as much. Now, from this video, hopefully we'll be back to weekly uploads. But yeah, what I thought, I'm gonna just quickly edit this video up now and get it dropped for the coming Friday, which is where you're all gonna see it. And then tomorrow when I crack on with the engine, I'll film that in another video, which will do part 2 of stripping down the engine. Yeah, I just thought that was the best way to go about it. So massive thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.